every year, without a doubt. The manifest your SP by Christmas or before Christmas crap floods the internet, floods the community. We got all the courses and the workbooks and the workshops and the posts and the videos and the deadlines and the time crunches and the stress and the anxiety and all that nice stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. You Christmas is a date on the calendar. It's just a number on the calendar. It's a day on the calendar. Why are we stressing ourselves out to manifest that special someone or something by that day? Why does it matter if it's by that day? You don't want to be alone. You want to spend your SP, you want to spend Christmas with your SP. I get it. I get it. The funny thing is, when I was manifesting my SP, it was also around this time, around Christmas time, right before Christmas. It was the end of November, beginning of December when I was manifesting him. And I remember I never, ever, ever said to myself, I have to manifest him by Christmas or by New Year's Eve or anything like that. The only thought I had was, I want to be with him. I want us to be together. I used Christmas because it was around the corner. I used Christmas to script our Christmas together. I used Christmas to affirm that, yeah, we are spending Christmas together, but that was not the goal. I just used that scenario to make myself feel better in the moment, to make it seem more achievable to me, to make it seem more closer to me, to make it seem more natural to me. I just used it as a scene, as a tool. Christmas was not the goal for me. Me and him together was the goal for me. So whether I manifested it in 7 days or if it took me 7 months, I would have kept going. And I know a lot of you say, oh, you don't know the struggles. You don't know the struggles. Manifesting an SP is not everything in life. That's one. Just because it took me 7 days to manifest my SP back doesn't mean I don't have struggles in other areas of my life. I have a lot of struggles in other areas of my life that I'm manifesting. Struggles that I keep working on every single day, no matter the purges, no matter the triggers that I have daily, I keep going. Triggers don't make me stop. Circumstances don't make me stop. Negative feelings and emotions do not make me stop. They make me keep going because I want to get rid of the triggers and the circumstances and the negative emotions. How and why it took me 7 days to manifest my SP back, I don't know. Nobody can tell you that. Nobody can tell you that. If you watch the videos, you know my journey. You know the process that I went through. It was horrible. But it took me 7 days. I have something that I'm manifesting for over a year now. Now, I used to, oh my God, the way I used to complain about this certain thing was unreal. You would have thought I know nothing about manifestation the way that I complain. But then after a conversation that I had with my boyfriend about this whole situation, it shifted everything in me. And it made me realize what I actually know and what I actually should be doing. Like it was a wake-up call, you know? And ever since then, I am keeping the course. I keep persisting. I'm not complaining. I'm not dwelling in negative thoughts or circumstances or anything like that. So I'm keeping like a really pristine mental diet, and the shifts, the movements that I'm getting are oh incredible. I love it. Now I am enjoying the process now. I am enjoying the process now. That I still like did I get the whole thing? No. I know it's inevitable that I'm going to get it. I'm going to get the whole thing. When? I don't know. I'm not giving myself a deadline. Why would I stress myself out with a deadline? Let's keep the deadlines where they are needed. When it seems unavoidable to have a deadline, That's where you manifest on a time crunch. So let's say with rent, with big bills, with health, with certain projects at work or at school. That's where you have seemingly unavoidable deadlines. And that's when you manifest on a time crunch. That's when you operate on a time crunch and do stuff on a time crunch. And hey, the majority of the time we do it, right? We do it even every single day unconsciously, unaware of. But you manifesting your SP on a time crunch is not a necessity. It's not that you need to manifest your SP by Christmas or by a certain date. You want to manifest your SP by a certain date. Like, let me ask you this. Would you rather give up because you didn't manifest your SP, let's say, by Christmas, or persist a little longer and get them for sure? Get them 100%, guaranteed. I don't know what your answer is, but I do know that a lot of you answered, oh yeah, I'm going to persist more. I'm going to persist longer. And I know that some of you might say, but I want it by a certain date. I want him or her, or I want my SP by a certain date. I get it. But you're telling me that you would rather give up. You would rather give up because you didn't get what you wanted by a certain day than persist a little longer and get it inevitably, no matter what, by waiting just a little longer. Then you need to set your priorities straight. And you're not focusing on your goal. You're not focusing on your SP. You're focusing on the time. You're focusing on control. You're focusing on your ego's desires. It's like your ego is taking the wheel. It's like your ego is manifesting and not you, not your higher self. You want the control, and I get it. You're impatient because you want to see something tangible right now. You want to feel something, some relief right now. I get it. I get it. But none of that is an excuse to stress yourself out because of a time crunch, because of a deadline that you set when it's not needed, when there is none. Nobody is conditioning you but you. There are no conditions to this. You're putting yourself in these shackles of time and control, which makes you solely focus more on the time and on the calendar. Because when you're manifesting on a time crunch, when there really is no deadline, you keep focusing on the time, whether you're aware of it or not, because you keep looking at how much time you have and how much time has passed. And then every single day, you're like, oh, I'm on day 3. It's 4 more days till Christmas, 2 more days till Christmas. And then Christmas comes and you give up. You give up because, oh yeah, that means that it didn't work, right? So many people tell me, oh, it didn't work for me. It didn't work for me. It's not that it didn't work. You gave up. It can't not work. It cannot not work. I need you to realize that. You gave up. People tell me I keep, when I manifest and then something bad happens or I get triggered and then I give up because I don't want to deal with it anymore. That's exactly it. You don't want to deal with it anymore. And I get that. I get that it can be very, very frustrating. But that's when you need to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth my time and my energy? Yes, then keep going. No, then stop. But don't complain about it anymore. Move on. Move on to other things. When you obsess over deadlines, by Christmas, by New Year's Eve, by my birthday, by Valentine's Day, you keep feeding stress and urgency in your manifestation when, again, there isn't any. And guess what happens? You start wavering, you start spiraling, you start checking the 3D obsessively because the clock is ticking. You manifesting on a time crunch makes you so much more aware of the time crunch, of the time. Now, don't get me wrong, I keep saying this. Manifesting on a time crunch is so very much real and possible, and people do it every single day. You do it every single day without even knowing it. But when it comes to manifesting consciously something uh, of a very big like importance to you, like let's say with SP, there is no, like, I need you to realize this. There is no time crunch. There is no deadline. You are setting a deadline. It's different when we're manifesting uh, paying a bill on time or paying rent on time or getting better or healing, recovering from sickness on time. That's a whole other thing. That's when it's urgent. But even then, you are still required to persist unwaveringly. But because there is this urgency, it's like you almost don't allow yourself to waver. You know the urgency of it, and you know that there is an official deadline, so you keep going. And if you want to manifest your SP by Christmas, you can succeed, but you need to persist. You need to commit unwaveringly with so much conviction and dedication that you do not take no for an answer. And I don't mean no just from your 3D, but I mean no from your ego mind, from your ego mind trying to bring back old assumptions, old beliefs, old expectations. No. SB and I are spending Christmas together. SB and I are spending Christmas together. SB and I are spending Christmas together. And then the ego comes, but they don't want anything to do with you. They don't want anything to do with me. They're not messaging me. They're ghosting me. They left me unseen. No, no, shut up. Scream, shout out your ego. If your ego is shouting, you shout louder. You overpower your ego. Your new story overpowers the old one. Like, there's no room for buts, for doubts, for wavering. Like, don't confuse that with intrusive thoughts. I keep saying intrusive thoughts are something that we cannot control. They come on their own. We can't control when they come in. But you control if you dwell in them, if you entertain them. There's no room for that. If you get intrusive thoughts and you entertain them, you start wavering. When you start wavering, you start spiraling. And then you got to go through that trap all over again. Don't put yourself through that. That's what makes time crunch manifestations work. The unwavering decision and dedication for it to happen. Because the minute you drop the deadline, you're dropping the stress. You stop panicking almost. Because it's like you're letting it happen naturally. You're letting it unfold naturally without interfering. And when you drop the focus on time, it's almost like as if it happens even faster. Because think of it, like the most stupidest example ever. When you're cooking pasta and when you're boiling the water, if you're staring at the water and like waiting for it to boil, it takes forever. Oh my God, it takes forever. But if you let the water boil and you're on the side chopping up some vegetables, preparing the plates and preparing the table and whatever, before you know it, the water is boiling. Then you put the pasta in, and then you know those pastas that don't say how much time they need to cook, and then you take it out after, let's say, 5 minutes to check where it's at, and it's not done yet, right? So do you throw the pasta away or do you keep letting it cook? You probably keep letting it cook, right? Because it's not done yet. You don't give up. You don't throw it away, right? So, see where I'm going? If something doesn't happen, if something is not done by the time that you expected it to be done, it doesn't mean that it's game over. You don't quit. You don't throw it away. You keep letting it cook. You keep letting it unfold. Let it finish. Just think about it. Would you rather have just a little bit more patience and enjoy your life with your SP permanently, or sabotage the whole thing over one date, over a day on the calendar? In my books, that's a no-brainer. I get that you want to see what people have to say when you see these videos. Manifest your SP by Christmas, manifest your SP in 2 days, in 3 days, make them contact you in 24 hours. I get it. I get that you want to see what people have to say. But watch that content exactly because of that reason, just to see what people have to say. Nobody on this earth can tell you when something is going to happen, when your manifestation will come into fruition, when you will be with your SP, when you will get the $10 million. No coach can tell you that. No guru can tell you. Not even Bashar himself can tell you that. Nobody can guarantee you when a certain something is going to come into fruition in your reality. Nobody can look you in the eyes and say, hey, it's going to happen exactly on this date at this time. Nobody can tell you that. Why? Because manifestation doesn't work like that. Time doesn't work like that. The quantum realm doesn't work like that. It doesn't work on our construct of time. The law works based on persistence. Persistence in your assumptions and the certainty that you hold to it, on it. And again, can it happen if you assume that it will happen by Christmas or by New Year's Eve or by any day? It can. But there is no person that can guarantee you that it's going to happen by that date. And I personally think that it's very manipulative of anybody to try to even make you think that they can give you the formula, the secret formula, by like to manifest something in 7 days, in 10 days, in 21 days. Learn to love the surprise. It's not a bad thing. Like, understand that your manifestation is inevitable and that it almost always happens as a surprise. Like, it's nothing magical that happens. It's just, it unfolds almost in the most natural way for you. And that's it. It's there. SP by Christmas. And it's December 24th. Tomorrow is Christmas, and you still haven't heard from your SP. A lot of people would break down and they would start crying. They would give up. They would question themselves if the law is real, if manifestation is real, if they're the exception, and all that. And the thing is, if you were to just keep persisting, I bet you didn't know I was going to say that, right? But if you just kept persisting in the outcome that you want to spend time with your SP around the holidays or whatever, uh, it would still happen. It may not happen on December 25th. It may not happen on December 26th. It may not even happen January 1st. But who's to say that it wouldn't happen January 5th or January 7th? So you were this close from spending time and being with your SP. But because you gave up, because it didn't happen on Christmas, you're not allowing yourself to be with your SP. It's like with this picture. This picture is everything. I love this picture because it shows us that when we want to give up is the time when we actually need to keep going even stronger with even more determination because you're just a moment away from it. Even when it seems like it's not worth it anymore. It's not happening. This isn't working for me. A lot of the times breakthroughs come disguised as breakdowns, but it's your job to recognize it. And if it's still something that you want, if your SP is still somebody that you want and want to spend your life with, if your desire is something that you want as a part of your experience, then it sure as hell is worth it. And keep going. So please, for the love of God, stop obsessing over non-existent deadlines and over Christmas and over New Year's Eve. That's all irrelevant. It's all nice, I get it, but it's irrelevant. And again, I've been there. I also wanted to spend time with my SP on Christmas. But please know that even if, let's say the worst case scenario, even if it doesn't happen by Christmas, does not mean that it won't happen. It can't not happen. That is a guarantee. That is something that I guarantee with my life. It's not a promise, it's not a hope, it's not hoping, it's a certainty, it's a guarantee. It is inevitable. And when you focus on time, you lose sight of the fact that it's inevitable. So it's not about when it's going to happen. It's about knowing and reminding yourself, even when you forget, even when it doesn't feel like it, to remind yourself that it is happening right now. Right now, things are happening, unfolding and moving and shifting behind the scenes in the background that you don't even know. You can't even grasp, you can't even fathom the stuff that is going on behind the scenes to bring you your manifestation. Now, if manifesting on a deadline, on a time crunch, is something that helps you actually stay on track and helps you persist and keeps you motivated, you know, like almost like a placebo effect, right? Then do that. I love that actually. I actually love that. Um, but don't use it as a trigger. Don't use it to condition the law or yourself or your SP. Allow your SP to conform. They're still a human being, right? Allow them to conform and allow yourself to also conform to your new reality. Because it's not just your SP that's conforming, you're also conforming. You're also not going to be the same person that you were. You can't. You can't be the same person now with your SP and the person without the SP, right? No matter the triggers, no matter the circumstances. And remember that time is also a circumstance. Everything, everything that includes your 3D is a circumstance. And your 3D is everything that surrounds you. The time, the people, the events, the situations, objects, everything. So just keep showing up for yourself and don't give in into societal pressure, into the pressure of the manifestation community to manifest on a time crunch or in a certain amount of days. You're on your own journey, on your own timeline. And so focus on your own journey and on your own timeline. And don't compare yourself to anybody else's because nobody is you, as cheesy as it sounds. Nobody is you, and nobody can be on the same journey as you, even if you're manifesting the exact same thing. If you and I, or me and my bestie, would manifest the exact same thing at the exact same time, and we would be doing the exact same thing in a sense of affirming and methods, let's say, we still wouldn't manifest on the same time, at the same time. We wouldn't get it at the same time. So relax as much as you can. And if you're not relaxed, if you get stressed and worried, release the energetic buildup, release the frustration, regulate your nervous system daily, daily, not just when you get triggered, but daily. And keep persisting because it cannot not happen. It is quite literally inevitable. Okay.